All right, so let's get on to this 2022 NFL mock draft that we have been teasing. So the way this is going to work, we're just going to call out the team. We're going to go 1 to 32. This is going to be, we're going to go through each team. We're not going to spend a lot of time on
Except
some
for
of the
Bears.
teams.
We're not going to talk about them.
We are not going to talk about the Bears. That's true. Or the Rams, who aren't even at the combine this week, which is hilarious. But we are going to go through each team. We're not going to spend a lot of time on some of the players that aren't fantasy relevant, or we just flat out all agreed because it just makes for boring.
Do you think that'll even happen, though?
It might. And
okay.
I just, if we all agree, I don't think we need to spend much time on it because clearly we all see it the same way. So I don't want to, make it seem like, there's an argument to be made there because we all see it one way. So, all right. Well, I guess, without further ado, we'll just start from the top. Jacksonville is on the clock. I'm just going to shout out, I think it's going to be Evan Neal right now in Las Vegas. He is the betting favorite to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Joe, what say you?
I agree with you here. He is a absolute monster of a human. He's 6'7", 350. I think the Jags sign up with him with Trevor Lawrence, and they've got a pretty formidable offensive core for a long time. So I think that it's really a no-brainer move there.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you. I don't think that Doug Peterson, I don't know how much role he's going to have here, but I don't think he's going to make the non-splashy move and go sign an offensive tackle to start off with. I understand that he's a freak athlete. I have to think that this is going to be Aiden Hutchinson here, especially if he has a monster day at the combine. I feel like the sacks weren't really the problem on this team. It was all the rest of the content. I'm trying to pull up the sacks right now, and I don't even see Lawrence on here. Oh, 32 sacks, which was 15th worst. Like, it's not even that bad. I mean,
a lot of that was
great.
him avoiding sacks, though. There was a lot of really sloppy scrambling plays.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't happen. I assume this pick will happen because that's what it is in every mock draft. But I'm just going to go off on a limb here and say that Doug Peterson comes in and he goes and immediately bolsters the defense instead of getting another good tackle.
Yeah,
I think there's some good in free agency there.
I would like to actually, I'm still going with Evan Neal, but I'd like to help out your case a little bit. So Evan Neal is not working out with Combine this week. He's already trying to count his money, and his agent told him, stay home, learn how to count how much ever money you're going to get for your first contract. And so he's not going to work until the Alabama Pro Day. My problem is that we're going to see the other offensive linemen at this combine. And by you not being here this week, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't want to make it seem like that because you want to get the best numbers. You want to look the best that you possibly can and hold private workouts. That makes sense. But there's not a consensus that Evan Neal is the best tackle in this class even. Like,
I was going to say, there's some good ones, Iwanu and Cross.
Yeah, Iwanu is coming for his, and Cross are both coming for his spot. So it's not necessarily that he is the, for sure. Like the problem with this class is there's no consensus. This is the best player in this draft. There's a lot of good players in this draft. There's not a lot of like top tier number
Kyle
one.
Hamilton. I think you can.
Well, okay,
Kyle
safety. Hamilton, you could probably say that, but like even Thibodeau and Hutchinson that we're arguing for in other years, they probably wouldn't be number 1, number 2 type of players. But I just think it's going to be Evan Neal. They're going to bolster that O-line and just build around him because they think he's going to be a franchise tackle for a long time.
Fireball bet?
What's the fireball bet?
You got Evan Neal. I got anyone else.
Oh, you get Hutchinson.
For the first pick?
Yeah.
You get Hutchinson because that's what you called.
I literally thought you were going to say, is Evan Neal going to be like an all-time offensive tackle?
Oh, no. Wow, how do you even
15-year bet?
Yeah, I'm not trying to do 15-year bets right now. I'm trying to do right off in May. Let's get it on the draft. I want something.
Fair enough. Yes, I will put Evan Neal, barring injury.
Barring injury. I'll give barring injury.
Okay. Then yeah,
I got anyone else because I just don't see him going unsplashy like that.
That's fine.
All
okay.
Right.
Well,
cool. Well, we'll go ahead and put him on the board. I assume you guys didn't change your mind.
No,
we did not. Oh, I got to start this draft. My bad. That was okay. Well,
let me just get to this because I'm assuming
filibuster for me.
So my filibuster here is if Aiden Hutchinson was drafted number 1 overall, I would have seen the Lions going with Kyle Hamilton safety, just going best defensive player overall and getting someone because not Trayvon Walker, Tracy Walker is he had that one good year and then he had a couple okay years. And I could see them, like, let's say hypothetically that Aiden Hutchinson's gone. I think they go Kyle Hamilton immediately. So that would have changed mine. That's my next pick as well. I assume that's not going to be it. I would go with Aiden Hutchinson, obviously.
Well, I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson for number 2. I think that he is a meathead, and I think Dan Campbell is a meathead, and I think those two are just going to click when they get into the interview room. I think they're both going to notice that they have similar work ethics, similar personalities, and I just think that there's no way that the Lions are not going to pick Aiden Hutchinson. I think that is as locked in as possible.
The Detroit Meatballs.
So we good on Aiden Hutchinson. I think we can move past this after.
I mean, Detroit they did not get pressure on the quarterback last year.
That's true.
Aquara was hurt, and then his brother filled in, but Aiden Hutchinson kind of solves that. He had 14 sacks as a senior. He has prototypical size. He really didn't do much before his senior year, though. That's the only worry I have on him. But Detroit makes a no-brainer pick here and grabs him.
Okay.
Hey, look,
we'll pick Aiden Hutchinson.
No.
So on to the Houston Texans. I don't know if you all can see on the board because it's smaller for us than it will be for you all, but it says position of need, every position.
That is
For
phenomenal.
the Houston Texans on PFF. It literally says every position is what they need.
That's all.
So for mine,
quite funny.
For mine, I pulled. I mean, that's very fair, and I pulled like the top 4 best needs, and their top 4 needs from I think this was CBS was QB, tight end, offensive guard, and safety. So in mine, I had Kyle Hamilton gone, so I would have went Evan Neal here because they need that. I know he's a tackle, but you know how that goes. So I assume that consensus is going to be Kyle Hamilton because that dude is just a freak.
Yeah, it's best player available. I mean, 6'4", 220 at the safety position, and he's good in coverage. Done. Sign me up.
Yep. Kyle Hamilton. We'll lock him in.
So what happens if, so let's say, I mean, I agree, lock him up, but what happens, let's say Detroit goes Kyle Hamilton there because they want the safety randomly because Kyle Hamilton just has a huge combine. Aiden Hutchinson going there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty easily.
Whatever position falls to them at 3 is going to be there.
One of those top 3, probably.
Yeah. Best player available.
100%.
We all agree that it sounds like we all have them as the top 3. So
yep. They're probably going to look for a trade, possibly, but it's going to be tough.
That's fair. I honestly have a trade projected here coming up soon, but I imagine that some of this like 5 to 10 is going to get traded and probably trade up for a QB or something. Because after this top 3, honestly, it's kind of falls off a cliff. I mean, there's still some. Open. Yeah. So number 4, who do you got, Joe?
At number 4, I have Akeem Iwanu from NC State. I think the Jets sign him up with Wilson. Kind of the same thing I said with Neal. Pair up the young quarterback with the young tackle, and he's very versatile. He played both guard and tackle in college and is an absolute monster of a man. So I think that's kind of a no-brainer on that one.
I'm going to go with Kayvon Thibodeau. I know that there's an argument out there right now that Kayvon Thibodeau may not love football. He may have different interests, but I think that he is special. I think that he's better than Aiden Hutchinson. I think that some of his intangibles, like, you know, I think they're just better than Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson's going to get you 10 tackles a game, 15 tackles, you know, max. Like, he's going to be a tackling machine. But I think Kayvon Thibodeau is your 13 sack a year player, maybe more, if, you know, he can develop even further when he gets there.
I actually agree with Billy. I do have Kayvon Thibodeau here as well. I don't know what I didn't know all that. I was actually wondering why his stock slipped underneath Aiden Hutchinson. But if he's more of a tackling guy, that completely makes sense, or whatever these reports are. He doesn't like football, but I'm assuming he likes money and he's going to go play.
So Kayvon Thibodeau is really smart. Like, that's one thing about him is, like, if he wasn't projected as a top 5 pick this year, he actually would have gone back to school to finish his degree and further his business ventures. Like, he's into the whole NFTs and all that stuff. So a lot of people, that's why they accuse him maybe of not being fully invested in football, but I disagree. I mean, just because he has other interests and wants to make money doing other things, that does not mean he doesn't love the sport that he was born to play.
Right.
Agreed. So I vote Kayvon Thibodeau. I think Billy does too. Is that pretty much our consensus other than Joe?
Yes. 2 out of 3.
You don't get a vote. 2 out of 3. Well, on your Iwanu pick, I don't know how to pronounce his name. My apologies. I have him next. So I think that's where he goes. I think this is and honestly, this could be a swap for Neal if he has a really impressive combine, but I think he's the next best tackle and next best player off the board, in my opinion.
I agree. 100%. No, I mean,
I don't agree.
More to add.
Well,
don't agree.
You already, I mean, where's Iwanu going? If we didn't get to draft him number 4, where is he? Or number 5?
I mean, if he falls there, then yeah, you take him. I think they go Drake London. Somehow Daniel Jones still has a job, and they said they're going to give him a fair evaluation this year. Galladay is starting to look really bad as a signing. Tony can't stay healthy. They're talking about shopping Saquon. Adding London gives Daniel Jones a size advantage that he's never really had in the NFL. Galladay will see less pressure, and with 2 picks in the first round, let's go upside.
I think that's the dumbest thing they can possibly do. That's basically proving to them that they're still just trying to add. Well, all Daniel Jones needs is another
receiver.
Josh.
It's the Giants we're talking about.
I know, but that's
so that's why it's going to be the pick.
I get it, and I know, but they have 2 picks. I actually have them trading their 7th pick down to a QB needy team. That's what I was going to say, that they trade that one down to say Washington, who doesn't get the quarterback. Don't think they're going to get the quarterback that they need or something. I don't see why you would do this. If you're drafting another receiver, I actually really like Drake London. I agree that he should be the first quarterback off the board, arguably wide receiver. Sorry. But the fact that they're in, we'll sell Saquon. We'll draft a wide receiver. We're going to build around Daniel Jones. It's honestly, at this point, go draft a quarterback, dude. It's done.
They're going to have to make a decision on Saquon, so it would be easier just to shop him anyway, instead of trying to pay him. But adding a guy, I mean, I just feel like the more this process goes on, I know Drake London's not doing any testing at the combine, but the more it goes on, the more someone's going to take a massive grab at that dude, solely for being 6'5" and just massive and fast. I mean, it's going to happen. So the Giants will do it.
I will have to disagree, but I think they're going to go O-line. They had the worst O-line.
Make your boring pick. Make your boring pick. It's fine.
And I think Iwanu is the kind of – I mean, they might – the 7th pick is not off the table for them doing something crazy like that. But I think the first pick, to just get the fan base invested, they need to know that they're going to try to address the O-line and how bad it is.
It's horrible.
I have to say, I like the fact that Drake London would go that high. I just don't think that if the Giants are really going to try to make something of, if they're not trading Saquon, or if they are, I guess, I mean, regardless, their line sucks. They're one of the worst in the league. They need this. Iwanu is potentially a number 1 overall pick. The fact that he gets to slip down to 5, I think that's a steal there. And he's also going to be there for the next 10 years. So
no, that is the right pick.
Well past Daniel Jones.
And if we've
already decided
projecting ourselves as the Giants, then that is the right pick.
Well, then there he is. There it is. Mark it, Bill.
Giants will not do the smart.
People are going to disagree with you, Joe. Sometimes, you just got to move past it in life.
Joe, they have the Bills guys in there now. It's a completely different mindset than
McDermott's
the Joe Judge.
Not there.
Well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think he was the brains there, but we shall see.
All right, on to Carolina at pick 6. I mean, everybody will probably disagree, and I don't know why they would do this myself, but I think they're going to go Sauce Gardner at 6. That's my personal pick. I think it would be stupid of them to do that, and this is a little bit of like Mel Kiper and Todd McShay in my ear, kind of telling me and convincing me that this is the way they should go, but I think that they're going to end up picking Sauce Gardner at 6.
And doubling up on JC. Mm-hmm. JC Horn, 2 cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be. Joe, what do you got? I don't want to talk about cornerbacks.
No. Kenny Pickett is who Carolina's going to pick. Hand size, schman size, dude. They don't care about that. They're in full panic mode after all the dumb, boneheaded things they've done at the position the last couple of years. Pickett at least gives the Panthers a chance at plugging the hole in the boat before it completely sinks. So the rest of the team is actually in a pretty good position. They get J.C. Horn back, so I don't think corner is that pressing of a need for him. And Pickett's probably the most well-rounded prospect in this class. So I think he goes to Carolina at 6.
Are you still scrolling down for Kenny Pickett over there? Is that what's going down?
Yeah, unless I completely missed him.
I'm not going to lie. I like that pick. That's not who I had, and I'm not going to talk about who I had because it's dumber than this. I can understand the argument that Malik Willis being the QB1 off the board, but I don't buy it. We didn't see anything at the Senior Bowl of him throwing the ball. Was he good at running the ball? Yes. Would he take some of the ground game away from McCaffrey, which would probably be a good thing? Yes. But they have DJ Moore, they have McCaffrey, they have Terrace Marshall, who's yet to be unlocked. I would want someone who knows how to throw the ball. Joe Burrow also had undersized hands. He still went number 1 overall. I'm not comparing him to that, but I would compare him to that Eli Manning, Derek Carr-ish kind of comparison. Once again, I don't really think Eli Manning is that good, so that's why I'm putting him in that category. I'm not saying he's going to win 2 Super Bowls, but I like that. I think they need a quarterback. I'm gonna not even tell you my pick, and I'm gonna go with Pickett. I think Joe actually did a good thing, but as long as he stops bitching about the last couple picks.
Pickett.
Yeah.
Pickett.
Okay, Pickett. Yeah, I'll put him in there. I feel like they could trade down and still get him if they did it. I'm just being honest.
They could. It depends on. Honestly, and this all depends on the combine. I'm expecting Kenny Pickett to go in the combine and blow some shit up because everyone's all bitching about his tiny little hands or whatever. And I'm sorry, but if you're good at the game of football, you can throw the football. That's just a thing.
They could trade down.
They could trade down, and I like this as the trade down moment.
If this is their idea,
you've got the Giants who could easily take a quarterback. You've got Atlanta.
They're not
going to take a quarterback.
Atlanta, Denver, Washington.
Could take a quarterback. Washington, Minnesota, Cleveland could take a quarterback.
Philadelphia is not off the table either with their 3 picks.
I mean, if you're trading back one spot, maybe.
If that's their guy,
if you're trading down, you're trading down to like Atlanta because New York's not going to trade up with them. You're trading down with Atlanta or Denver, and that's because they're trying to grab Malik Willis.
Yeah, I mean, this may end up looking stupid in a month when free agencies happened and, Russell Wilson's the quarterback of the Panthers. But, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, pick 6. If they really want Pickett, that's how they're going to have to do it.
I do agree that Pickett will be the first quarterback off the board. That's my
I just don't because I think a GM is going to be like, you know what? Malik Willis comes with an A+ skill in running. He does need development in passing, but hey, who else was that kind of athlete? Josh Allen. And
what I see
that worked out.
You know what I see Malik Willis as? Yeah, but Malik Willis isn't going to get as big as Josh Allen. He's
never going to be as tall.
Yeah. So my logic is what I see out of this is a Robert Griffin III. Not injuries aside, I see a couple flashy years and speed, but no real consistency throwing the ball with Malik Willis. I mean, there's a possibility that he learns it, but like Jalen Hurts is in the same boat, and the Eagles are still thinking about drafting a quarterback. Like, is he going to get better at throwing? I mean, it's just one of those things that, yeah, it's great to have those legs, but like we saw what happened when
he's going to have to learn. Like that's the thing. He's just going to have to. He's going to have to go to a situation where they're able to teach and mold him.
So, and maybe Sam Darnold's still there next year. So, I mean, I'm assuming they probably can't get rid of that contract. So maybe he learns under Sam Darnold.
Cam might be there, which would
Cam might be there too.
Under Sam Darnold.
I laughed when I said it. I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
He's going to learn how to see ghosts. Okay.
We haven't made it very far, so let's speed this bad boy up.
Yeah, pick 7's the Giants. They're back on the board. I think they're going to go pass rush. I picked George Karlaftis in my practice run. I'm not sold on that. George Karlaftis, but what did you guys think?
I actually had Karl.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that works. Yeah,
no, so my problem with this is I don't know how good he is. I just saw him in the top 10. I'm not gonna lie. This is a one of those picks I am unknowledgeable about, but it sounds like I'm on the right track. So
he's good. He's a good edge rusher from Purdue. He was the best player probably on that team. David Bell might have a conversation about that, but George Karlaftis on that defense was a menacing force. You would like to see him win a little bit more, but most of the offensive lines double teamed him because they knew he was coming. So I think that would work for them.
This is where I project the Giants to trade down, but this is why I think I even put that as a side note on my thing. I don't see them really getting what they really want here because, like I said, I think it drops off after those first 5. So
can I tell you what I think is going to happen? Sorry, Joe, we were kind of boxing you out.
Joe, we already agreed.
Hey,
Joe doesn't
real
need
quick,
to talk.
let me get this out of the way.
Okay,
I had the Thibodeau slide ending here, so he's.
I forgot you hadn't even picked Thibodeau yet.
So you guys can.
Okay, if Thibodeau makes it to this, I'm taking 5 shots. I've already promised that on Twitter.
I thought it was 5.
If he makes it past 5, I'm saying if he slid to here, I would be taking 5 shots. So hopefully that doesn't.
Oh, it's per round?
No. It's if he doesn't go within the first 5, I'm taking 5 shots.
Oh my god!
If he makes it to pick 6,
awful. I kind of hope
I'm not taking them all 5 at once.
I'm changing my pick. I want to put him here.
No, he can't. It would be one of the dumbest mistakes I've ever seen in a draft, if I can be honest. But that's beside the point. So, what I think is going to happen here, this is where the Steelers trade. This is where the Steelers trade up, and they go get Malik Willis. This is it. This is the spot.
That'd be stellar.
This is what's going to happen right here, in my opinion.
Can we add trades in here?
It's not an easy process. I've tried it. I don't want to do that.
All right. Well, I'll let the record show that Billy says Malik Willis goes right here.
Yes, I'm going to put George Karlaftis down because that would be a good idea. But if I can be honest, if there's a trade that I see coming, it would be this slot. They would trade down, and
I just see them because you can get honestly the same talent, not the same talent level, because I know that it drops off a little bit after this, but this 6 through 15, unless you're going after, this would be a good time for them to grab one of them wide receivers that Joe was talking about, if that's what their plan is. So
it's a good point too. But they could probably when they trade down to whatever the Steelers pick at, I can't even tell off the top of my head how far down.
20.
But 20. Okay, so they can still get like a Jamison Williams or somebody like that if they're the Giants.
If they're still desperate on wide receiver. Yeah. So I like the idea of them trading out of this pick because I don't think you're getting the value here, and I think you're getting the value in the trade.
No, because Karlaftis is not the level of Thibodeau and Hutchinson, and so I think if you trade it out, you're kind of valuing him about right. But anyway, I'll put George Karlaftis in there for now, and we'll move on.
We'll get into that.
Falcons are on the clock.
All right, Joseph, who you got here?
Malik Willis. I got the Matt Ryan retirement tour is happening, and Malik Willis really needs to make some adjustments. And happens to be that those adjustments are the same thing Matt Ryan had to do when he was younger. I think it's a match made in heaven. I really do.
I actually have Malik Willis here too. I'm a little worried with Malik Willis because it's like you're investing a heavy ransom in a quarterback here. And as Billy has pointed out, there's better quarterbacks next year. And I don't think this is going to solve any of their problems. I think they're still going to be bad. And then they're basically out of the quarterback rush next year. So that's
okay, I was going to say, I'll explain it out. So the thing is here, I think they're going to go Burks. I think they trade Ridley to the Eagles for one of their first round picks. And then they pick Treylon Burks at this spot. And then the problem I have is if they picked Kyle Pitts over the quarterbacks that were available last year, why on earth this year would they forgo a Treylon Burks or somebody like that if that is what they're building, that offense, to go with like a Malik Willis who's not as good as any of these quarterbacks that are coming next year? They already are committed to Matt Ryan. Like they're going to have Matt Ryan finish out this year as like his farewell tour.
Is he going to play? I was confused about that because he's owed like $40 million or something ridiculous.
He's gonna. My God! Because even Joe explained it makes more sense to cut him after this year than it does to cut him before this year. Yeah. So they're gonna ride it out this year. They're gonna do their little farewell tour. Matt Ryan, it was fun. You got us to and choked away a Super Bowl. It was a blast. We had a great time. But this will be the end of that era. They're going to push him out. They're going to set this team up for the future by taking Mr. Treylon Burks.
I'm torn because I do like Treylon Burks. You were talking about him the other day and telling me that he was no, don't. I haven't said anything yet.
He's already putting it on.
He's already putting him on the board.
You slide dog.
I was I
get
just
it ready.
clicked on wide receivers. I just wanted to see where he was. I
do like Treylon Burks or London to go first, and I think that him and Pitts running side by side on each side could be scary. But like, are they going to be able to do bad enough if they draft Treylon Burks? Is their offense? What if their offense slides them in the 15 range? Or do you think Matt Ryan's just that bad?
Matt Ryan
Their defense is that bad too.
You watched Atlanta play last year. He is so
fair.
washed.
You know what? I'm gonna flip flop here. I will go with your little wide receiver click there. Go ahead and click on your wide receiver. Let's go Treylon Burks, because I do agree that he could be a pretty good wide receiver to be the number one. Like you said, he's the biggest guy there. These other guys are little. Other than Jameson Williams is a little bigger, isn't he? But I think he's
pretty small too.
Is he small too? Okay.
Literally, Treylon Burks is the only guy of his size in this class. We just have to see how fast he is, which we'll find out because he's going to test.
Yeah, we had this conversation yesterday or whatever, that Treylon Burks is going to look like the DK Metcalf, basically, out there. Just swole as fuck and big.
For sure. Okay, let's move on to the
on the board.
Yeah, on the board. We're going to move on to the Broncos. Can we all just be honest? They're going to go after a quarterback in free agency. Like it would make sense in this draft for us to put a quarterback here because that's their biggest need. But in my opinion, I don't think they're going to go with because the way that we have this set up, it'll be I don't even know who the top quarterback is. Was it Willis? I don't think they're going to go Willis. I don't think they're going to go Howell. I think they're going to go after free agency. So in my opinion, I think that they're going to go Charles Cross, the tackle.
I actually have Cross as well here. I think he's arguably a number one or number two linebacker or offensive tackle as well. Like he could easily be in there. So,
yep. His stock's going to go up this week because Evan Neal not being there. He's only going against Iwanu.
The reason I picked him is because I assumed that they're going to go get Aaron Rodgers, basically.
Yeah, or somebody. I mean, one of the guys that is rumored to be out there, like they're going to go after somebody, and it's not going to be one of these guys.
Yeah, and their offensive,
especially if Pickett's gone. Like I feel like Pickett would be the guy they'd be after. Even though
I feel like they're going to just want to bolster Javonte Williams at this point too. Like you get a good offensive lineman. So,
what do you think, Joe?
We could hear from Joe, but we don't have to.
No, we're going to. We're going to. No, Cross is not a bad pick at all. It would make a lot of sense. But I have Devin Lloyd here. I think he absolutely tests out of his shoes this week.
Yeah.
I think Denver is the perfect landing spot. A.J. Johnson missed time all last year, and he's getting older. Josie Jewell has never put together a whole season, and they signed Kenny Young last year, who didn't help him. And Baron Browning was out with a foot injury through the whole first part of the year.
Von Miller.
Yeah, finally started to come along. I think Lloyd has the speed element that this defense is absolutely missing. I mean, they're pretty tough everywhere else except the middle there, and I think this is like a perfect. You
know what, Joe? You actually have swayed me. I think
I'm actually down as well. I'll go unanimous. I'm a big fan of Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean. We can hear from Joe now.
I appreciate you guys.
Let's throw a linebacker in there.
Either
one of those guys could test out and just be phenomenal. And honestly, like we said, the talent selection from 6 to 15 is okay. I mean, we haven't even gotten. Oh yeah, we got our receiver in there. Never mind.
Well, I was doing my practice run. I couldn't really figure out a good spot for Lloyd, so this actually helps me out because this makes a lot more sense than
when you said all those names at linebacker, I was like, yeah.
No, dude, it was brutal watching them, man.
You talked me into it. That actually makes a lot of sense, and that would be good because they don't need anything on offense, no weapons other than a quarterback that they're going to go get. Defense makes the most sense. Yeah, good call, Joe. Good call.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
All right, on to the Jets at 10. This is their second pick in the first round. This is another popular trade destination because Washington, being the quarterback needy team that they are, this would be a good spot for somebody to trade up. Maybe Pittsburgh if Malik Willis was still available, which he still is. But what do you guys think?
Minnesota, New Orleans could trade up too. I mean, there's
just to get my pick out of the way for this one, it's Derek Stingley Jr. for me personally. If he slides this far, I know everybody can see that he's ranked 3rd on PFF. I think he's gonna have to test at some point to show what he can still is capable of doing. But I think Derek Stingley is the pick.
I agree with your trade there option because I really think that's prime. 6 through 10 is prime trade candidate if nobody wants to go for a quarterback. There are a lot of QB needy teams there, so I actually had who's the other guy?
Oh, Gardner.
I had Sauce, but I also had Stingley going first a few picks earlier. I didn't want to talk about it because it was embarrassing. But yeah, so I'm honestly it's Stingley or Sauce for me, and I'm down for it either way.
It's going to be Gardner. Gardner, if he tests well this week, it's probably going to be Gardner. So yeah, you're probably right.
So I mean, same ballpark. I don't care which one we pick.
So we all went cornerback here.
We did.
Did you go? Who do you got?
Which one do you have? McDuffie.
That's who we'll go with.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie, man.
Oh, what the fuck,
dude? The Jets need that speed. He's a track star. I think the scouts are going to fall in love with. He allowed 0.39 yards per coverage snap all of last year. He's a hybrid position player. He's absolutely insane in coverage, and he's rarely ever beat.
Sauce allowed 96 yards.
I know.
God, this is
McDuffie's
like
more athletic. Man.
It's like that Office meme when they're all like pointing the like handguns at each other.
The
like
Spider-Man meme. Where it's
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna break the tie here. I'm going Sauce Gardner. I think that's what it is.
Also,
Joe,
I love his
like
name.
McDuffie. I have him. He's not gonna be on the board for much longer, in my opinion. But I think Gardner is the one that goes here.
I can't argue with you. We all agreed on the position at least.
That was
which is hilarious. That we
all different ones though. I was like, which one did you have? That'll break the tie, and then you're like McDuffie.
Okay, guys. We probably are going to talk about it, but I mean.
That's good.
But this is for Washington. For Commanders, we're thinking Malik Willis probably if they don't go something else. What do we think?
I actually originally had Devin Lloyd here. That was my Devin Lloyd pick, but Malik Willis, he's still on the board. Devin Lloyd's gone. So,
Joe?
I had Matt Corral going here. But if Malik Willis is on the board,
well, he said
Malik. Okay.
No. Malik's on the board still in our draft, so
fair enough.
I would take Malik. I had Malik going to Atlanta, but
because of the way the board fell, Malik's the way to go.
Yeah, because we were both on him.
You got a quarterback that actually helped his stock by not getting lumped in with all the quarterbacks that went to the Senior Bowl. So
fair enough. This is kind of I think it's kind of helpful that we all at least did a practice run of this so that we could, because it's kind of like working out for us. So
our minds are in the same area. There's a little bit. I have a feeling after this top 15, it's going to get a little dicey.
Yeah, 1000%. Because here we go at Minnesota. This is where I picked Trent McDuffie, but with Stingley still being on the board. I don't see how Stingley falls past this. I don't. If this is how it fell, I don't.
I had McDuffie here too, but Stingley still would have been picked already in my draft.
That's my problem. Joe, what did you have something similar? Who did
I had Sauce here. I think it's the best fit of any team / player in the draft.
Same.
The only thing with Stingley is his lack of production as of late. What have you done for me lately, bro?
I know.
I think he's going to slide.
It's going to hold him back.
Joe,
for sure.
Joe, Billy, you guys decide. I'm going to play neutral here. It can be Stingley or either. We're on the same position, so I mean,
I just don't think Stingley makes it this far. I don't. But at the same time, I would have already this would have been my McDuffie pick if Stingley went a couple picks earlier.
That's where I was at too.
I don't know. Does McDuffie jump Stingley? That is the question.
Let's technically. You said you had him here too.
McDuffie, yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's slip Stingley down.
I like McDuffie.
Let's
go. Joe made a pretty good case for McDuffie.
McDuffie goes here. Okay. So we're at the Browns. I think this is locked in Garrett Wilson, to be perfectly honest with you.
Dude, the reports are so stupid. Yeah.
It's just there's too much smoke that this pick that I don't. Okay, so here's the argument against it. He's only 6 foot tall. He kind of is going to fill in the OBJ role because that's kind of how he plays. He's kind of a little bit of a freelancer, not a ton, but that's kind of his game is to do that. So, is that a good call? Should you go with Drake London, who is much taller? That's not. But the thing is, Baker Mayfield likes Garrett Wilson. So if you're going to stick with Baker Mayfield, get the kid he likes, which is Garrett Wilson. That's my argument.
We were torn on the Traylon Burks London conversation. I mean, hypothetically, if say London went there, Traylon Burks going here would be hypothetical good.
That would be best case scenario.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't they want a bigger guy hypothetically if he can slip down to 13? I had Garrett Wilson just because of all the chatter I've seen about Garrett Wilson going to the Browns, basically. So
yeah, there's too much. I'm telling you, man, there's too much smoke. Joe, who did you have?
I had Karlaftis, but he's gone. So,
so
it's a Garrett Wilson, man.
Garrett Wilson it is then. All right. Well, see, now here is something interesting. I did not anticipate Charles Cross being here at this point. I don't think Baltimore can let Charles Cross go past him.
That is actually who I have at this pick.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't think they're going to let him go past you.
No,
yeah.
Villanueva is going to be 34. He filled in at left tackle with Ronnie Stanley out for the second straight year. Baltimore, DaCosta has already come out and said that they're going to be targeting the O-line heavily in the draft and free agency. So I think he actually falls because he was blocking in an air raid system. So I think a lot of these teams are a little weary of his run blocking. But Baltimore gets an absolute steal here at the spot.
We all had Cross going well earlier. I guess we just never agreed on. Oh, except for Joe, obviously.
Yeah, Joe picked him here.
So on CBS, basically Baltimore's needs are offensive line for. I don't know if this is in any order. Linebacker, edge, defensive tackle. I had Trayvon Walker going here just because best edge rusher available.
That's what I had as well.
But I agree. Cross can't go past this spot.
Yeah. So I'm going to put Cross here just because that's how it happened to fall for us.
Nice, Billy.
Now
we get a lot today.
And now we get to the Eagles, and we're going to let our – never mind. Joe, who did you have the Eagles taking here?
I have Stingley going to the Eagles here.
Well,
I don't think
it's two
they're not
picks.
going. It is. I don't think they're going to let Stingley go past here. I think that the two guys they have listed here, London and Stingley, are going to be the guys that go here.
I had Burks and Stingley, so I'll replace him with London since we flip-flopped on
I think this is super easy. This is a layup for the Eagles. They don't even have to think about it.
I actually didn't have Burks being the first wide receiver taken. I had London being the first wide receiver taken, but I didn't think he would make it this far. I thought that, he would get picked in that middle range. So we do agree on London. So go ahead and put that one on the board. But okay. I do disagree with the Stingley. I don't understand the need for us to draft a cornerback right now. I think we just wasted money on.
Okay.
We just got. I get it. It's best of. I get it. I know that we don't have Steven Nelson right now. I say what we do is we put our money where our mouth is with Nelson, sign him to a 2-year deal because that's really the good content he has in his life left, and you don't have to pay him ridiculously. He did good, but it wasn't great. You just need someone to match with Slay. We just drafted Zach McPherson. I just don't like wasting money on corners. We don't know how to draft them. I'm not saying Stingley's not good, but obviously Stingley is good. You guys can put him there. I had David Ajabo going here.
If Stingley wasn't available, we would be going that direction.
But Trayvon Walker is still technically available. So I've just seen Ajabo in every mock draft for the Eagles because we do need an edge rusher more than anything. In my opinion,
Stingley goes way higher in most mock drafts. I just don't see how the Eagles, because the Eagles pick in 3 picks or 2 picks, so they can get one of those guys in that position too. So
yeah,
can we just say Stingley and move on?
I will give you
Stingley because Slay is 32, going to be 33.
Agreed.
By the time his contract's
up. Also, this is all depending on if we don't trade for Calvin Ridley, because otherwise that London.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, we're okay. Well, in this fantasy world, we do not have a trade here. So,
but hypothetically, in that world, it would be London for hypothetically London for Calvin Ridley. So.
I think they should go both. But anyway, Stingley's going here.
Okay, whatever. I don't like it.
I love it.
Majority rules. All right. Well, this is where the Chargers find themselves. I think it's pretty easily O-line. I don't think it's Bernard Raymond. That, by the way, this is insanity. I'm sorry, PFF. I respect you all. Bernard Raymond being this high is insanity.
I don't even have him on my list.
He's good.
He doesn't have a picture.
He wasn't that great at the Senior Bowl. I did not love his look. I thought he was getting a lot of chatter, but maybe not as good. So, in my opinion, Trevor Penning. He's the best tackle at this of it.
Did we all agree again?
We all agree. Okay, should we all agree with Trayvon Penning?
Well, so my logic was, Chargers had defensive tackle, O-line, wide receiver, edge, tight end. I wanted to give them a wide receiver. I just don't see them needing it, and might as well get 2 phenomenal tackles for Herbert. So
I agree. So we'll put Penning down. Not much to talk about there.
He did have 16 penalties last year.
Wow. What a fun fact, Joe.
The man's angry.
We appreciate
angry
that.
Little guy.
Okay. So now we find ourselves at the Saints. I have them going with a quarterback in Matt Corral. What are you all thinking?
That's who I have as well. I think they have to get it. I think
like
they have to.
You cheated. That's what this is. Joe,
No,
who did you have?
they have to get a quarterback.
I had Garrett Wilson here.
Okay.
I think with Sean Payton out, that Michael Thomas is going to stay. I think Jameis is re-signed for that. And with the insane speed of Garrett Wilson and the hands of Michael Thomas, they've never had two quality receivers.
And Michael Thomas and Garrett Wilson are actually friends. I mean, they both went to Ohio State, so they've both chatted.
But Garrett Wilson's already gone.
Which is why this will be going.
I will say I do like the idea of them drafting a wide receiver here, like Jameson Williams or Olave. That could be interesting because if they do go get a quarterback, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, the problem with this whole like not having free agency or trades done yet in the real world is this may have taken care of itself. But for now, we'll go Matt Corral. Whoa,
beautiful.
Whoa.
Don't mess it up, man.
Yeah, I know.
We can't go back. I can only talk for so long.
All right, we're back to the Eagles.
We're back to the Eagles, and since Ajabo didn't get picked, I still want to say that he gets picked here, but I don't really like this pick. They're also rumored to be trading for or going after a defensive end in free agency. I can't remember who it was now. And if they do that, I think. But my pick here is Nakobe Dean. Their problem was with Singleton all year. The linebacker, I think Dean has just a phenomenal skill set, and we missed out on it last year with Parsons and watched the Cowboys get this ridiculously skilled player. I get that edge could be a thing, but I think Nakobe Dean has the skill set to where he can get some sacks as well, and then we can kind of rebuild that defensive line a little bit differently. We got Josh Sweat. We got Brandon Graham for another year. I think that we could go sign a free agent I can't remember who they were after, but there's some options out in free agency. So I like Nakobe Dean here personally, but since we didn't I'm okay with a defensive line too.
Joe?
I like Trayvon Walker here. I think Philly's had a lot of line guys outside of Cox that haven't really come to fruition in any way, shape, or form. Trayvon Walker can play all over the line. He's very versatile, and it's a perfect fit and a position in need.
Why are you guys don't decide my team? This is bullshit.
I'm picking Nakobe Dean. So my original pick was Andrew Booth because I didn't think they would have a cornerback, but since they got Stingley in this draft that we're doing, Nakobe Dean's the pick. That's good.
All right. I'm sorry for being mad. Also, the guy that they were going after potentially is Hassan Reddick. So if they got Hassan Reddick on that defensive end with Josh Sweat and with Derek Barnett for one more year, I think that would solve the problems. And I don't think that you're getting the talent here.
Reddick would be nasty.
Reddick would be sick there. So I'm hoping that comes to fruition. I could see Sweat and Graham splitting duties on the other side, and then Reddick getting the majority of the whatever side he's on. So I like that. I like Dean. I think that we go heavy defense here and get our wide receiver, unless we trade that wide receiver or that pick for Ridley, which I would actually be more down for. Although I like London, I want someone who's proven.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Popular trade rumors abound. I think that they're going to trade up from this pick to go after a quarterback. But if they don't do that, if they decide to stay home and not do any of that, offensive line, right, guys? Like they were pretty bad this year at offensive line. So that's probably where they're headed.
I had Kenyon Green. I think he's the only offensive guard going. Oh, there's another one later. I had picked later.
I had Green too.
Oh, okay. Well, I had Green as well.
Unanimous. We should do this more often, guys.
We're good. Yeah, we're in sync on these guards, man.
The O-line, it's pretty easy to pick where the O-line's going. Like the teams that need O-line, and it's just the players available.
I would like for them to draft a quarterback, but my opinion is that Jimmy Garoppolo goes to Pittsburgh.
There's that's where the smoke is for that one. Okay, so here we go with the Patriots. A lot of talk, this is my pick. I'm just going to say it, is Jameson Williams. I think that they need a true number one wide receiver. Jameson Williams drops a little bit. He probably would have been higher, not with the injury standing. And since he's going to come back and be fine, Jameson Williams is my pick.
It's a good one.
Same boat. different ship, but I had Williams. I was torn between Williams and Burks, but Burks is gone, so Williams.
Joe?
I had Nakobe Dean going here, really just for his versatility that Belichick craves. But since he is gone, I like Jameson Williams.
Right. Same. I mean, it's pretty easy to project what these guys need at this point too, which is nice.
Yep. All right, the Raiders, who also need a wide receiver. I don't think they're going to go this way though. If my personal pick for them is Jordan Davis. I just watch a game of Georgia play, and you will see this absolute behemoth of a man who is 330 pounds, who moves like butter. And I think that it would be criminal if he wasn't picked by the Raiders to make their defensive tackle. He's an amazing defensive tackle, one of the best I've seen in college. So I have him projected here at the Raiders. Joe?
That would help Crosby out a lot for sure in that spot. I had Jameson Williams, so I like your pick, though.
I'm good with Jordan Davis, too. Let's just ride it out.
I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to trade for this year's Alex Leatherwood, but
yeah, they'll probably draft someone stupid. So I would actually like a wide receiver there. I originally had one. I think I had Burks there. So
I think we're going to see David Bell go in this spot somehow.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Well, I'm going to pick Jordan Davis because I think he should go here. And that's just what, Okay, so we find ourselves with the Cardinals. Joe, you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, I have David Ajabo, edge from Michigan, going there. I have him sliding a little bit more than a lot of mock drafts I've seen, because I think a lot of teams are going to wonder how much lining up opposite Hutchinson didn't help his success there. But he's still really good, and it's a point of need for Arizona. I mean, they've had a couple swing and misses lately on defense, so they really need something to hit here.
Yeah, I had Booth here, which I think we've drafted have we drafted the top 3 corners yet?
Booth is still available.
Yes, so Booth is still available.
Okay, so Booth would be the 4th. I had Booth going here. I think that was a big problem for them last year. So I'm glad we're off the board. But honestly, now that Joe's got Ajabo, and I had him going with the Eagles, so 19 or 16 even, I could see that happening. I don't know.
Okay, well, my original pick was Jermaine Johnson, who is an edge rusher. So since all of these guys are still available, Walker and Ajabo, I think Ajabo goes here.
Yeah.
So
we'll
pick.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, we come to the Cowboys. The needs of this team are interesting. There's a lot of random talk out there about Nakobe Dean going here. It would be so confusing that they picked 2 linebackers in a row. But I mean, as you can see, even PFF thinks linebacker is a need for them.
Yeah, Lloyd and Dean were both combined with him. I don't understand why that's their need. I know that they spend a lot of money on linebackers, but why are they a linebacker churning team? There's more needs on that team than just linebacker.
Yeah, apparently they're going to cut Leighton Vander Esch. We'll see. This is where I had Lloyd going, so I'm completely open to whatever you guys want to do here.
I had Jermaine Johnson.
Hey, I did too.
But
but with Trayvon Walker available, does that change?
We should probably do Trayvon Walker there.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Trayvon Walker. I think they go edge. I think DeMarcus Lawrence is getting old, and we've seen him not be so great. Randy Gregory is probably going to get suspended again.
Randy Gregory is just a D-bag, dude.
It's just a D-bag.
Johnson's massive showing at the Senior Bowl is going to get him.
Unless they keep Parsons, I could see them grabbing, if Lloyd or Dean was here, I could see them grabbing a true linebacker and then shifting Parsons back to pass rush. It worked,
True. Okay, we're going to go Walker.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which brings us to pick 25, which is the Buffalo Bills. I have Chris Olave going here. They need a wide receiver they need a third wide receiver to kind of bolster that offense. They don't need a whole lot of players, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think having Chris Olave would really open up some things for that offense.
Are you looking at my damn sheet now?
I'm not, but
you have him too?
Nice. Yes.
I have him as well. I don't like this pick though. I like more of let's protect Josh Allen and go Zion Johnson. I've actually been thinking about that as I think offensive line is the way to go because they don't need him. My pick for a reason picking Chris Olave was that I don't think Diggs is the future, and I think Diggs is only going to go downhill at this point. And I think it'll be an Amari Cooper situation like with the Cowboys. And I could actually see the Cowboys going back and grabbing a wide receiver or Olave right here too, because they like to have wide receiver depth, and Cooper is apparently not on the trade block, but rumored to be. And I think Diggs will be in the same position next year when he's earning a lot of money and not putting up a lot of numbers. So yeah, Olave.
Okay. Well, I think that this is pretty easy to go Olave. He's good at getting separation, so this will be good for him.
Huge.
Okay. Well, Tennessee Titans, I'm not going to lie, I originally had Nakobe Dean going here. Obviously don't think that's going to happen. I actually think I'm changing my mind on the fly anyway, because he obviously went earlier. So I think they might go Tyler Lindenbaum. I really do. They need a center on that team, and their O-line was trash, as we watched. And he could have been a top 10 available pick, but he was not. So I that would be my pick. What did you guys come up with?
I'm okay with that. I had actually Traylon Burks all the way down here, but you kind of changed my mind the other day when we were talking about him. So I wouldn't say I moved him up, but I agreed with you earlier. So I'm down. I'm open. My guy's gone.
Joseph?
Yeah, I had Kyler Gordon from Washington at cornerback. I think their secondary needs help, and they could go line. I like Tyler Linderbaum. That'd probably be a good pick there. But Kyler Gordon's style of play really brings attitude to the defense. That played pretty good down the line, but they still need better players on that team.
Agreed. Well, I think just for the sake of Linderbaum, I think him going here is what we're going to do.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Okay, which brings us to the Buccaneers, who I'm not going to lie, it only says they need two needs here. They need a lot.
They need a lot.
No, I saw 5 things: running back, defensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, tight end, because of all of their free agent losses.
Okay, well, this might be a good Andrew Booth. I'm not going to lie, I originally had Linderbaum going here, but I think Andrew Booth might be the way to go because I don't think there's a couple wide receivers that could sneak up here at this point, but I think they could also wait on this position at this point and get somebody at the back half of the second round that will be equal to what they're going to get here.
I'm gonna go off the wall. This isn't even what I had. I actually had Linderbaum here, so I'm gonna go off the wall here, and I'm gonna go Isaiah Spiller. Get themselves a running back.
Okay.
Fournette's gone. They don't believe in Keyshawn Vaughn, and they got a lot to rebuild here.
Yeah,
I think
Ronald
they
Jones
want something,
too.
and I think they want something exciting. And I think this is when the running backs will start flocking off the board, more so the second round.
I'm not gonna lie, we didn't even talk about a running back possibly going off the board for the Bills.
None.
Was that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like
they need a wide receiver.
They need more things than a running back.
They need a lot. I honestly can I give you all a little prognostication of mine? I think Chris Godwin's going back to the Bucs. I think this injury has changed things for him, and even if it's a 1-year deal, I think he's going to go back. I really do. So I'm not even sure that that's going to be a problem.
Do you think that's smart for him without?
I think with the injury, he's not going to get paid as much.
Well, there's been talks of Garoppolo going there as well, and a couple other quarterbacks, Trubisky, fill-in kind of guys.
Someone's going to massively overpay for Godwin.
You're not wrong.
It's going to be my Bears. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, so Joe, what did you want to do here?
I have the good Mike Williams going here. George Pickens from Georgia. He's the Mike Williams that belongs in the NFL. We're going to call him George Pickens.
Okay.
I do like the flashy pick.
He can make the great catches. Tampa Bay is going to be trying to find a compliment to Mike Evans because they need a quarterback to succeed. And if they don't have two massive wide receivers on the outside, they don't have a whole lot left on that team to support a mediocre quarterback. So
I'm good. I'm good with Pickens being here.
All right. Well, I'm calling running back off the board in the first round. I don't know if it'll go to them. Might be Miami.
I like your plan, but no, Pickens. Okay, that brings for what? Them getting a running back?
A running back goes in the first round.
Yes, I'll take the fireball bet.
Beautiful. This draft is going to be great. That'll be at the end of the time too, so it'll be great.
Green Bay Packers. So a lot of people are going to say they need a wide receiver. I'm actually don't think they're going to do that. For my pick, I had Devontae Wyatt here from Georgia. I think that they're going to try to do more with the defense because I still think they think that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
I like Jahan Dotson here.
Yeah, I tried my best to get Dotson to like me think that is what they're going to do here, but I don't.
It depends on this. All depends on Rodgers though, because if Rodgers stays, they have to draft a rookie wide receiver.
And March 16th is when we'll know about Rodgers, hopefully.
And honestly, this could be a quarterback too.
Yeah, there is a chance of that.
Sam Howell right here.
I would not hate that.
It's not
mainly because I don't want to ever.
It's not Jordan Love. Let's put it that way. It's definitely not
Jordan Love.
It's definitely not Jordan Love. So
I'm down with offense. I know that defense. I know defense is a need, and they need an edge rusher too. I mean, but that just doesn't sound. That's not a sexy pick. That's nobody. Okay. Dotson or Howell. You guys okay with that? Or Joe, who'd you have?
Oh, I had Jordan Davis, and he's gone.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm with Billy on the fact that
makes more sense.
They're blaming the defense,
defensive line too. So you guys can go defensive line. That's fine.
Yes, Wyatt. Boom. Easy. Okay. Well, this was the worst offensive line in the league. Like when we do our game or our team previews for the season, and Josh comes up with all his O-line rankings, Miami was dead last. So I think that they can't let Zion Johnson go past this pick. What do you guys think?
I had Linderbaum here. So
did Tua not play a full season?
He missed 2 games, right? 3 games?
He's actually just kept swapping in.
He's not actually that bad on the sacked. He was sacked less than 29 times, which is like the 20th overall.
Yeah,
so
they're still terrible though. I mean, it's still a battle line.
I like a running back here again. I'm going to argue for it.
They
need it so bad.
Here's the thing. If they pick a running back over a O-lineman, everyone there is going to be like, okay, so you get another running back here, and they still can't run because the O-line is so awful.
Yeah, I know White in there. First running back off the board.
Joe, that's not happening. I would love that. That would be hilarity, but that's not happening.
Give him a lineman. Be boring. I'm just trying to be bold here.
Okay, I like your boldness, but it's going to be a lineman. Who did I forgot who I even said. Oh, Zion Johnson. That's right.
Can we get back to offense now? Can we put Dotson and KC? I think we can all agree that KC needs a wide receiver.
You can.
What are they going to do? I mean, they could get. There's not any talent here that's like.
I think they're for sure going to sign one. Let's be real.
I had Boye Mafe here.
I think this is a good Andrew Booth spot, to be perfectly honest with you.
Is Booth still on the board?
He is, which I think this is a good spot for him. They might not have Tyrann Mathieu back. Their cornerback play was sketchy at best as we watched the touchdown barrage there at the end of that Buffalo game. Booth from Clemson, I think that's the pick here. Just because of the way the board fell, I think that's the spot.
Fine. Just in interest of getting it over. You guys are boring, though. Look at that defensive lineman.
Yeah, you're really not.
I had Mafe from KC, man.
Okay, so here we go with the Bengals.
Clark and Melvin Ingram.
Oh, he's edge rusher. Never mind.
Here we go with the Bengals.
Obviously another wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. That probably, it's not gonna lie. They probably will do something like that. They need an O-line. This is probably where Bernard Raymond's going to go. It's probably where he's going to go. It's not that I don't know. Joe, what do you think? I'm perplexed.
For Cincy?
Yes, for Cincinnati. Yeah.
I got Sean Ryan from UCLA, offensive tackle. He's a little bit lightweight at only 320, but he's still 6'5". So if you get him on a diet, he could protect Joe Burrow for a long time.
I like it needs to be an offensive lineman. I don't care who it is.
I don't think Raymond makes it past this. I don't. There's no way. The way that he's getting hyped up, I don't think he's going to be he should not be higher than this, but I don't think he makes it past this.
Honestly, if they don't draft an offensive lineman after the sacks that have happened and Joe Burrow just getting his ass kicked, I agree. Put him in there. I don't care who it is. It can be Ryan.
We're going Raymond.
I don't even know who it is. So
Brings to the Lions. They are the last pick because they traded with the Rams in that Jared Goff trade that cost them.
Hey, you got him on the board already. It's Mr. Sam Howell. They're getting their quarterback of the future.
This is where I had Kenny Pickett going. Kenny Pickett falling to 32 is insane. So I knew by the time I got to the end, I was like, well, this isn't going to work. This is not going to happen the way that I think. But Sam Howell.
I don't even know if Sam Howell will make it this far. There's a lot of QB needy teams. It depends on what people do in free agency, but
Sam Howell makes a lot of sense here. Joe, what did you think?
I like it. I had Andrew Booth going there, but
yeah, since he went two
spots. With the North Carolina team with Javonte, Michael Carter, and Howell was just ridiculous, and I think that this might be one of those Carson Wentz type moments where he's not going to be phenomenal, but he's going to be one of those underdeveloped quarterbacks that goes in and actually can make a difference if developed correctly, which he's got Goff there for at least another year, so he can develop.
I agree. Well, my computer's deciding to be slow, so that's great.
I was going to say, can you save this? Because I do not remember all 32 of those picks.
Yeah, I can save this.
Okay, good.
Wish it would allow me to pull this up. Okay. So that's what we're looking at.
We'll give you the rundown on the socials and whatnot. We've talked long enough. You guys don't want to hear us anymore about this draft, but
I'm tired of hearing you.
Yeah.
We actually agreed a lot more than I expected us to, so that's good.
I'm pretty surprised at that as well.
Well, there was a lot of times where people had lost someone, and it was just like, yeah, go ahead. I mean, that's fine.
It ended up making it a lot easier. So there's obviously well, we'll just talk through quickly. I know we've run a little long here, guys. You're just gonna have to bear with us. We did an entire mock draft in an hour, so it's just you have to bear with us. So a couple of notes, obviously, that happened here because of the way that we drafted. Me and Joe didn't have any running backs going. Josh wants one to sneak up in there, but neither of us had a running back going. Joe, do you think that one could sneak up there? Josh thinks it, so I'm asking you who didn't think it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. There's, when Najee pops up in the first round, we all had him going to the Steelers, but I didn't have Etienne going to the Jags, even with T-Law and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
didn't
there's always that wild card that could go in there.
And then Edwards-Helaire to KC 2 years ago.
At least we knew why they did that.
Tampa Bay would make a lot of sense to snag a running back.
Jacksonville had an established running back and picked one anyway. It made no sense.
I mean, I would say it worked out for him, but it obviously didn't.
I could see Josh's Tampa Bay right there.
I like Miami too.
Yeah, either one of those. Or Bills. That's still. I think that's a wild card. They clearly. Singletary did come on there at the end of the season. They clearly don't believe in Zach Moss. So if you put another running back there, like Spiller or somebody, for example, that would be pretty electric for them. I mean, they could probably wait and get somebody like Rachaad White in the later rounds, but
they should do that.
I think they should. Rachaad White would be a lot of fun.
I think this draft is just really deep with running backs right now. I think any team that's like really looking at one is looking at the whole board and being like, well, we can probably wait.
Well, the problem with running backs is I'm not looking at the second round, but looking at the first round draft picks. Running backs won't start going till, hypothetically, the Giants, if they lose Saquon. Atlanta, maybe. Atlanta could grab one in the second round.
Yeah. So a couple other points. 4 cornerbacks went in the first round, and there's plenty more. Cornerback, this is a very rich cornerback class. We didn't even get to some of the guys. We had mentioned them in passing, but like Roger McCreary was in there. There's a couple. Joe mentioned a couple of guys that he was thinking could sneak up in the first round cornerback. It's a very good cornerback class. So if your team needs a cornerback, this is the way to go. And then as far as wide receivers, there's a couple other wide receivers that could easily make it up here in the first round. David Bell being one of them from Purdue that we didn't mention. But as far as quarterbacks go, this looks like it to me. I cannot see Desmond Ridder sneaking up there or any of those other guys, to be honest with you. I just can't see it.
Yeah.
What about other wide receivers? Do you think you think like Pickens makes it up here?
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't really thinking about it until Joe said something, and then I was like, yeah, Pickens could easily make it up there into the top.
And what about McBride and these other tight ends that you've so highly touted. Do you think anyone's going first round? Do you think they're all second rounders?
There's a possibility. There really is. Before the season and kind of midway through the middle of the season, Jalen Wiedemeyer from Texas A&M was being projected in the first round. He was going to go up pretty high, but he's kind of fallen off. He wasn't really that productive this year, but he's still a really good tight end. And a lot of these other guys are really good receiving tight ends. I think the second round, there's probably going to be 4 tight ends off the board. I honestly would put fireball bet on that. I really do.
4 of them? I'll take it.
4 tight ends in the second round.
All right, has to be in the second round.
That's my riskiest bet, but
not including the first round either, in case one slips in the first round.
I really think that that's going to happen. I really do. Okay,
done. Book it.
Yeah, second round should be your fantasy football round. You're going to have plenty, probably 4 or 5 running backs go off the board. Maybe I don't know that for sure. Tight ends are going to go off the board. Wide receivers are going to go off the board in the second and third round. That day 2 is going to be a lot of fun.
That's usually the money round.
Almost as fun as round 1. But okay, so this is our first mock draft. We will put the graphic out on social media so that people can argue about how high or low we had people. Cannot wait to hear some feedback about that. And we'll see what happens at the combine this week. That's what we're going to talk about next week. We're going to go over a little combine stuff, and we got some fun, maybe underdog draft situations going on next week, which I can't wait to get to.
Are you going to be here next week?
TBD. We'll see.
Okay. I was going to say.
Might be doing this one a little early next week. We'll see. I don't know.
All right. Sounds interesting.
Yes, I am going to New Orleans next weekend, but nice. I don't know when I'm leaving just yet. I forget. So,
well, I'm available. We'll figure it out.
Yes, we will figure it out. Okay, Joe, get us out of here,
guys. I hope you enjoyed our mock draft. We enjoyed doing it. Follow us, tweet us, buy the Ultimate Dynasty Index. Do it all. We love hearing from you, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Hit the subscribe.